The silent arrival. The stars above Earth burned quietly, cold and endless. In that darkness, a ship moved where no human eye could see. It was not built by human hands. It belonged to those who had traveled farther than light itself. They were not warriors. They were not conquerors. They were researchers. Their mission was simple: study Earth, learn about humans, and report back. No contact, no interference, only observation. For many years, they had watched silently. From orbit, they saw wars fought on land and sea. They saw cities rise like steel mountains and then fall into ruins. They saw humans suffer, but also survive. To the alien minds, humans were confusing. Humans were violent, yet they created music that touched the heart. Humans destroyed forests, yet they dreamed of saving the planet. Humans built weapons that could burn worlds, yet they held children with gentle care. The aliens did not understand how these creatures could be both destroyers and protectors. That night, while Earth slept, the alien scanners detected something strange. A pulse, a signal, deep under the Pacific Ocean. It was not human technology. It was not natural. It was something else, something old, something powerful. The commander of the alien ship ordered silence. "We will study from a distance," he said. But curiosity was stronger than caution. One of the scientists whispered, "This signal does not match anything in our records. It bends the rules of physics." Their instruments showed impossible readings. Gravity shifted around the source. Space itself bent like water. Energy levels rose and fell, almost like a heartbeat. The aliens looked at one another. They had crossed galaxies, studied black holes, and mapped stars, but never had they seen a signal like this. The commander hesitated. "We were sent only to watch the humans," he reminded his crew. "If we go closer, we break the rules." But the scientist pressed forward. His voice trembled. "If we leave without studying this, we may never understand it. This is not human. This is not Earth. This is something greater." The crew agreed, and the decision was made. Slowly, their ship descended into Earth's atmosphere, cloaked by technology that made them invisible. They passed through thick clouds, over endless waves, until they hovered above the darkest part of the ocean. Beneath them, far below the crushing waters, something waited. Through the deep-sea scanners, the aliens saw a shape, long, sharp, silent. At first, it looked like a mountain of metal, broken and forgotten. But then, lights flickered across its surface, lights that matched no human design. The structure was enormous, larger than any human battleship. The aliens gasped. It was not just a machine. It was a ship hidden deep under the ocean floor. A ship that should not exist. One alien whispered, "If humans built this, then they are far more advanced than we believed." Another shook his head. "No, humans cannot build something that bends reality. This ship is beyond them." The commander stared at the glowing image on the screen. His chest grew heavy. A fear rose inside him. "Then who built it?" he asked quietly. Silence filled the ship. No one had an answer. The alien crew kept scanning. Strange symbols were carved into the ship's hull. They were not human letters, nor any alien script they knew. The metal surface seemed to shift as though alive. At moments, it looked like solid steel. At other times, like liquid shadows. The ship was sleeping, waiting. And then, for a brief second, their scanner showed movement inside. The crew froze. Something was in there. The commander's voice was sharp. "Shut down the scans. Now." But it was too late. The deep ocean vessel pulsed. A burst of energy surged upward, racing through the water, reaching the alien ship above. Lights flickered, controls died, and alarms screamed. The alien crew panicked. "It's scanning us." One shouted dot on the screen. The ship's lights grew brighter, as though it had awakened. The commander shouted, "Pull back! Pull back!" Their ship struggled to rise, but the strange vessel held them like a hand around their throat, Dot, and then just as suddenly as it began, the force stopped. The ocean below grew silent again. The massive ship beneath the waves dimmed its lights and returned to sleep. The alien crew sat in silence, their hearts pounding. The commander's voice shook. "We leave now. This is not for us to touch." But one scientist did not agree. His eyes burned with obsession. "No," he whispered. "This ship, it called to us. It is not human. It is not Earth. It is something else. Something waiting to be found." And though no one spoke of it, the crew all felt the same chill. For the first time since arriving at Earth, they were not studying humans anymore. Now, they were standing at the edge of something far greater, something impossible. Something that should not exist. Asterisk the forbidden's discovery. The alien crew could not sleep. Even though their commander had ordered silence, their thoughts burned with questions. What was that ship under the ocean? Who built it? Why did it react when they scanned it? Hours passed in the dark of space, but the scientists kept whispering. Curiosity was stronger than fear. Finally, one of them stood before the commander. "We cannot leave," he said softly. "We came here to study humans, yes. But this ship, this is not human. It is beyond them. If we turn away now, we may lose the greatest discovery of our lives." The commander stared at him. His duty was clear. Observe Earth, never interfere. But deep inside, he too felt the pull. That ship had looked alive, almost as if it had been waiting. At last, he gave a single command. "Prepare the descent. We go back." The cloaked vessel dropped once more into Earth's atmosphere, vanishing into the heavy clouds. Lightning flashed across the black sky as they approached the Pacific again. The waters below churned, endless and cold. This time they went deeper. Their small craft slipped beneath the waves, protected by a field of energy. The ocean pressed in on them, crushing. And silent. Strange creatures swam in the darkness, but even they avoided the area where the ship rested. Finally, the alien crew reached the trench where the massive vessel slept. Their lights cut through the black water, and there it was. The ship stretched across the seabed like a shadow made of steel. Its size was breathtaking, larger than a city, its design unlike anything in the galaxy. The scientists gasped. "This is no ordinary craft," one whispered. "This is a vessel of war, or of gods." They moved closer, carefully scanning again. Strange energy danced across the surface. At times it looked like fire, at times ice, at times like nothing. At all, the hull was covered with marking symbols that changed shape when looked at too long. No language, no pattern, yet they felt meaningful. Almost alive. Suddenly, one section of the hull shimmered. Metal shifted, folding away, revealing a dark opening. The aliens froze. The ship had opened a door for them. The commander's voice cracked. "Do not enter. We observe only." But the youngest scientist was already drifting forward, eyes wide. His voice trembled with awe. "It's inviting us." Against the commander's orders, he guided himself inside. His body disappeared into the blackness. The crew waited, hearts pounding. Then his voice came through the comms, full of shock and wonder. "You must see this. The walls, they are not metal. They are light. The corridors are endless. The ship is not built, it is grown." The others stared at each other, torn between fear and desire. At last, 3 more followed him, entering the impossible vessel. Inside, the air was thick and strange, like breathing starlight. The corridors twisted and turned, yet always seemed to guide them forward. Surfaces glowed softly under their touch, shifting like liquid glass. The ship was not just a machine. It was alive. One scientist placed his hand on a glowing panel. Immediately, the ship reacted. A low hum filled the air. The walls pulsed with light, as if sensing their presence. And then they heard it. A voice. Not in sound, but inside their minds. A whisper that was not words, yet they understood. You are not human, but you are here. The aliens staggered back, fear in their eyes. Spoke to us, one gasped. The ship pulsed again, stronger this time. Lights flared, running down the corridors like veins of fire. Somewhere deep inside, machinery began to move. The ship was waking Dot outside. Alarms screamed on the alien vessel still floating in the water. Energy levels surged. Gravity shifted wildly. The commander shouted, "Pull them out! The ship is unstable." But it was too late. The impossible vessel rose from the trench. Mountains of water shifted as the ocean floor shook. The alien scientists clung to the glowing corridors as the entire ship came alive. And then it moved. The ocean split apart as the massive vessel surged upward, breaking through the surface with the force of 1,000 storms. Human satellites instantly detected it. Radar stations across the world lit up with warnings. Naval fleets scrambled. Fighter jets launched. The humans believed they were under attack, but the truth was stranger. The aliens were inside the ship, and the ship had chosen them. The commander, watching from his smaller craft, could only whisper in horror, "We have broken the rule. We are no longer observers. We are thieves." Yet even as he spoke, a deeper fear filled his chest, because he knew the truth. They had not stolen the ship. Ship had taken them, Dot, and now Earth and the galaxy would never be silent again. Asterisk. The first touch, the ship rose from the ocean, like a beast breaking free from chains. Water cascaded down its vast metallic frame, thunder echoing as if the world itself had awakened. Dot inside. The alien scientists struggled to keep balance. The corridors shifted and twisted, yet none of them fell. The ship seemed to hold them steady, as if guiding their steps. "It knows we are here," one whispered, trembling. Lights flared along the walls, symbols glowing brighter with every passing second. The youngest scientist stepped forward, his hand brushing across the strange surface. The moment his fingers touched the wall, the entire ship answered. A deep hum filled the air, vibrating through their bones. The walls rippled like liquid light. Then a control panel rose from the floor, glowing with shifting shapes. "It's responding to him." Another gasp. Dot, the young scientist's eyes widened. "No, it's choosing me." His hands moved without thought, guided by something greater than himself. Shapes became patterns. Patterns became commands. The ship accepted him. Outside, the impossible vessel tilted, then steadied. Its engines ignited, not with fire, but with light that tore the clouds apart. Human defense forces on Earth watched in terror. Satellites recorded impossible readings. Planes scrambled into the sky, tracking the colossal craft. Naval fleets sent urgent codes. Across the planet, governments panicked. Dot in command centers. Human generals shouted orders. Unknown vessel. Rising from the Pacific. All forces to intercept. Do not allow it to leave Earth's orbit. To them, it looked like an invasion. But inside, the aliens had no control. The ship was not obeying their commands. It was teaching. The young scientist fell to his knees, clutching his head. Images poured into his mind, visions of galaxies twisting, stars collapsing, battles fought across ages long forgotten. "I can see it," he gasped. "This ship, it has memories. It has a past." "What do you mean?" The commander demanded. "It fought wars, War's not of this galaxy. It crossed dimensions. It bent reality itself. And now it wants a pilot. The others froze. A ship that could bend reality? That was beyond gods. Beyond reason. Outside, fighter jets screamed toward them, missiles locked. The human pilots were ready to strike. But before they could fire, the ship pulsed with light. Time slowed. The jets froze midair, hanging like insects trapped in amber. The missiles dissolved into dust. The sea below calmed, as if nothing had happened. The aliens stared in horror. It stopped time. The young scientist shook his head. Not time. It rewrote reality itself. The commander's voice cracked with fear. We must shut it down. If humans see this, they will know we are here. They will come for us all. But the ship answered for them. The walls lit up again, corridors shifting, like veins of light. Doors opened ahead, guiding the young scientist deeper inside. It wants me to go, he whispered. The others tried to hold him back, but the ship's gravity pulled him forward. He entered a vast chamber at the heart of the vessel. The room was unlike anything they had seen. It stretched endlessly, filled with floating platforms of light. In the center was a throne-like chair, carved from glowing metal. The young scientist stepped toward it. The ship's hum grew louder, echoing in his mind. He felt its voice again, not words, but certainty. You are the one. Sit. Fear battled. With wonder, his hands shook. I am not human. Why me? The voice was calm, unbroken, because humans are not ready. But you were curious enough to come. He lowered himself into the chair. At once, the ship roared to life. Energy burst from its frame, shaking the skies. The impossible vessel lifted higher, breaking through the clouds. Every human radar, every satellite, every scanner locked onto it. On Earth, panic spread. Commanders screamed. Leaders demanded answers. News channels flashed warnings. Unknown craft over the Pacific. Possible alien threat. Inside, the young scientist's eyes glowed with reflected light. His body merged with the ship's controls, mind and machine becoming one. I can feel everything, he whispered. The stars, the planets. The edge of reality itself. This ship can go anywhere. It can do anything. The commander shouted, Stop! You don't know what you're doing. But it was too late. The ship bent space. The stars twisted. The earth below shrank away. And in a flash brighter than the sun, the impossible vessel was gone. Only silence remained in the skies above Earth. On the alien vessel still hidden in the ocean, the crew sat in stunned silence. Their scans showed nothing. The ship had vanished beyond detection. The commander's voice was hollow. We have crossed the line. We were sent to observe. Instead, we have awakened something that was never meant to be touched. And though no one dared say it aloud, the same thought echoed in all their minds. The young scientist was no longer just a researcher. He was now the pilot of a ship that defied reality itself. The awakening of the ship. The stars twisted around them as the ship leapt through space. One moment, Earth filled the windows. The next, it was gone. The alien scientists inside staggered, clutching at the glowing walls. None of them understood what had just happened. The young scientist, still seated in the strange chair, gasped for air. His chest rose and fell like he had run for miles. We jumped, he whispered, but not like normal travel. The ship bent space itself. It didn't use engines. It rewrote the path. The others exchanged nervous glances. That is impossible, one muttered. The commander stepped forward, his voice sharp. We should not be here. Shut it down. But the young scientist shook his head. His eyes glowed faintly with the ship's light. I cannot. The ship is awake now. It moves on its own. As if to prove his words, the chamber shifted. Panels rose from the floor. Glowing streams of data spiraled through the air. Holograms. Appeared stars, maps, symbols that shifted too quickly to follow. The commander demanded, "What is it showing us?" The young pilot's voice grew distant. "It's not showing us. It's teaching me. These are star systems, coordinates, histories. The ship remembers every place it has been." The walls pulsed, and suddenly, visions poured into all their minds. They saw burning worlds, armies of machines marching across alien soil, creatures made of fire and shadow fighting wars that bent reality. The crew cried out, clutching their heads, "Stop it! Stop!" The visions ended as quickly as they began. The young scientist slumped forward, breathing hard. This ship has seen countless wars. It has destroyed enemies we cannot imagine. It carries the memory of battles beyond time. Silence filled the chamber. None of them dared move. And then a low voice whispered inside their minds. Not sound, but thought. "You are not the ones I was built for. But you have awakened me. Now you must carry the burden." The commander froze. "It spoke to all of us?" "Yes," the young pilot said, his voice unsteady. "It doesn't. Just speak it judges, and it has decided we are its crew." Outside the ship, the galaxy spun before them. The vessel drifted past planets and stars in moments. Time itself seemed meaningless. But their scanners screamed warnings. Earth's defense forces were searching. Human fleets launched into orbit, scanning for the impossible craft. Across the planet, news channels spread fear of an alien ship rising from the ocean. In orbit, human warships formed a blockade, missiles armed, lasers charged. They were ready for battle. "Commander," one alien whispered, "the humans think we are invading." The commander's jaw tightened. "They are not wrong. We stole something that was not ours." Before they could react, the ship pulsed with light. Their vessel shifted forward, and in a blink, they were above the human blockade. Alarms screamed on every human warship. Commanders shouted, "Target the vessel. Do not let it escape." Dozens of missiles streaked toward the impossible. Shipped out inside, the aliens braced for impact. But the young pilot raised his hand instinctively. The walls glowed, and the missiles simply vanished. One moment they were real. The next they were gone, erased from existence. The aliens stared in horror. The young pilot whispered, "It's not defense." The ship rewrote reality again. It made the missiles unborn. On the human ships, panic spread. Our weapons do nothing. It's ignoring physics itself. The impossible ship pulsed again. Time slowed outside. Human warships hung frozen in place. The stars bent around them. The commander's voice trembled. "This vessel is not just a ship. It is a god machine. And now it has awakened in the hands of a scientist." The young pilot clutched the chair, sweat dripping down his face. "It is asking me to go farther. It wants to leave this system." "Refuse it," the commander shouted. "If we disappear, humanity will come hunting. They will not forgive us for this." But the ship did not wait for permission. Space folded once more, and Earth vanished behind them. The stars twisted into ribbons of light, and in an instant, they were far beyond human reach. The crew stared out the window in silence. They were no longer in the solar system. The constellations themselves had changed. The young pilot's voice was barely a whisper. "We crossed galaxies in a single breath." The commander turned, his eyes filled with dread. "Then hear me now. We are no longer scientists. We are no longer observers. We are thieves riding a weapon that should never exist." The ship pulsed. Again, as if laughing, and deep inside its endless corridors, machinery stirred. For the first time in ages, the impossible ship was awake. and it would not go back to sleep. Asterisk. The chase begins. The stars outside blurred into streaks of light as the impossible ship drifted through space. The alien crew sat in silence, their hearts pounding. None of them spoke. None of them dared. The vessel was awake now, alive in a way. No machine should be. The young scientist sat in the glowing chair, eyes wide, hands trembling on the shifting controls. "It's still moving," he whispered, "but not by my choice. It's flying itself." The commander glared at him. "You should never have touched it. You let it claim you. Now we are trapped." Before the young pilot could answer, alarms flared. Holograms spun across the chamber, showing dozens of signals closing in. "Human ships," one alien gasped. "They followed us." The commander frowned. "Impossible. We crossed half the galaxy in seconds." But the impossible was already their reality. Somehow, humanity had found them. Human fleets appeared out of folded space, their ships bristling with weapons. "They are chasing." "U.S.," the pilot said, his voice unsteady. "But they are not moving like normal. They are pulled along. By us." The realization hit them all. The impossible ship wasn't only bending reality for itself, it was dragging others into its wake. Humanity had been caught in its slipstream, unwilling passengers of a power too vast to escape. "Commander," a crew member whispered, "they think we are stealing their weapon. They will kill us." Outside, the human fleet spread into formation, blocking every direction. Their warships were smaller, but their numbers filled the stars. Warning signals echoed through the combs. "Unknown vessel. Return immediately. Power. Down and surrender. This is your final chance." The alien crew trembled. For the first time, they felt the true weight of humanity's will. These were not the primitive creatures they had studied. These were warriors ready to unleash fire. The commander closed his eyes. "We should return the ship. We should beg for forgiveness." But the vessel itself had other plans. Without warning, its engines pulsed with light. Space folded violently, and the entire fleet was dragged into the distortion. Alarms screamed on every human ship as reality twisted around them. Inside the impossible ship, the crew staggered. "What is it doing?" The pilot's voice broke. "It's testing us. It wants to know who deserves to command it. And it will. Use humans as the trial." Outside, the stars vanished. Darkness swallowed everything. The human fleet fired missiles, launched beams of light, unleashed weapons that could burn worlds. But all of it dissolved into nothing before reaching the impossible ship. "They cannot touch us," one alien whispered, but the commander shook his head. "No, it is not defense. It is demonstration. The ship is showing us what it can do." Suddenly, the vessel split the darkness. A new system appeared before them, a burning star surrounded by shattered planets. Wreckage floated in endless silence, the remains of a war fought long before humans ever left Earth. The young pilot gripped the chair. "It's telling me. This is what happens to those who misuse its power. This is what it remembers." The alien crew shivered. The human fleet, still caught in its wake, slowed and held formation. Even their courage faltered before the graveyard of broken worlds. Then the ship turned its attention inward. Its lights flared, walls shifting until they formed strange glowing symbols. The voice spoke again in all their minds. "You are my pilots. You are my crew, but only one may command. Prove your worth or be erased." The chamber shook. Platforms of light rose from the floor. The corridors reshaped into vast halls. The ship was forcing them into a trial. The commander's jaw tightened. "It wants us to fight for control." The crew backed away in fear. "We cannot win. We cannot command something like this." But the young pilot's eyes glowed brighter. He stood, his hands clenched. I will not give it up. I touched it. First, it chose me. The ship responded with a deep pulse, almost like approval. The commander stepped forward, defiance burning in his eyes. Then you are a fool. You are a child playing with the sun, and suns burn everything they touch. The chamber lit up. Energy fields crackled around them. The impossible ship was no longer just a vessel. It was an arena, Dot, and somewhere beyond the shifting walls, humanity's fleet still waited watching, ready to strike if the aliens failed to control what they had unleashed. The chase was no longer about ships and missiles, Dot. It had become a battle for the very right to touch the impossible. Asterisk humanity's warning, the alien crew stood frozen inside the glowing chamber. The impossible ship pulsed with light, its voice still echoing in their minds. Only one may command. Before anyone could move, their comms erupted with a sharp signal. A human voice, clear and commanding, filled the air. This is Admiral Reyes of Earth Defense Command. To the unknown vessel, power down immediately. You have taken what is not yours. You are warned, return it, or face consequences. The aliens looked at each other in shock. The humans knew. Somehow, they knew exactly what this ship was. The commander whispered, "They are not surprised. They were expecting this." The young pilot frowned, gripping the chair tightly. "What do they mean, return it?" It was hidden in their ocean, forgotten. Even they did not control it. The human admiral's voice came again, colder this time. "That ship is not a relic. It is a prison. It was sealed under the ocean. For a reason. You have awakened it, and now you endanger us all." The aliens gasped. A prison? The ship itself pulsed, almost like laughter. The young pilot's head filled with whispers, fragments of voices, visions of battles where reality itself shattered. He saw the ship ripping stars apart, collapsing planets into dust. He shivered. They're telling the truth. This ship was never meant to fly freely. It was locked away. The commander's face grew pale. And now we've stolen it. The humans did not wait for a reply. Their fleet spread wider, dozens of warships surrounding the impossible vessel. Weapons locked, targeting systems charged. Admiral Reyes's voice thundered. "Last warning, return the ship, or humanity will burn you from the stars." The crew trembled. They had seen human wars before, seen the destruction humans could unleash even with ordinary weapons. If they truly feared this ship, it meant its danger was beyond imagination. The young pilot shook his head. "We cannot return it. The ship won't allow it. It is bound to me now." At that moment, the vessel pulsed again. Reality bent. Human missiles launched before anyone gave the order, but they did not explode. Instead, they twisted midair, forming into strange, broken shapes. Weapons turned into dust, then into fire, then into nothing at all. Panic erupted in the human fleet. "Their defenses are impossible. We cannot breach it." But Admiral Reyes's voice remained steady. "This is why we buried it. This is why it must never fly again." The aliens stood in silence, caught between two truths. The humans demanded surrender. The ship demanded obedience. And somewhere inside, the young scientist was being pulled deeper into its mind. He gasped, clutching his head. "It's showing me everything. It was built in war. Not by humans, not by any species I know, but by something older. Something that fought across universes. The humans did not create it. They captured it. They sealed it away." The commander stepped forward. "Then we must shut it down. End this before it grows stronger." But the young pilot's voice hardened. "No, don't you see? This ship chose me. It doesn't belong to humanity, or to anyone. It belongs to the one who dares to fly it." The walls pulsed as if agreeing with him, Dot, and then, for the first time, the humans fired for real, Dozens of ships unleashed everything they had: railguns, plasma beams, missiles that glowed with fire. A void lit up with death. The alien crew braced for impact. But the impossible ship barely stirred. A ripple of light spread across its hull, and every weapon dissolved before touching it. The ship answered with silence, as if mocking humanity. The comes crackled again. Admiral Reyes' voice was heavy now, almost mournful. Then you have chosen your path. Know this: humanity will never stop hunting you. That ship is death itself, and we will not let you carry it freely across the stars. The signal cut. The aliens stood in the humming chamber, hearts pounding. Humanity had spoken. It was not a threat. It was a vow. The young pilot rose from the chair, his eyes glowing faintly. They are afraid because they know the truth. This ship is not a prison. It is freedom, power beyond all limits. And it has chosen us. The commander's voice shook with anger. Fool, this is not freedom, it is a curse. Humanity sealed it because they understood. But you think you can master it? The pilot stared at him, defiant. I don't need to master it. I only need to fly it. The ship roared in. Agreement. Its lights blazed brighter, filling the chamber with blinding radiance. Stars outside bent and twisted. The alien crew shielded their eyes. The commander whispered in dread. He is no longer just a scientist. He is becoming something else. The ship is remaking him. And deep in the silence of space, the human fleet. Reformed, preparing for the next strike. But the aliens knew the truth now. Humanity would not stop. Not until the impossible ship was destroyed, or until the galaxy itself fell silent. Asterisk. A final decision. The chamber glowed brighter than ever. The impossible ship pulsed like a living heart, its voice echoing through every mind aboard. One must command. One must choose. The alien crew huddled together, their faces pale. Humanity's fleet still surrounded them, weapons ready, waiting for the order to strike. Earth's ultimatum was clear: surrender or be destroyed. But inside the ship, another ultimatum burned. The young scientist sat in the glowing chair, his eyes no longer normal. Light swirled in his pupils, like galaxies trapped inside. His voice was calm, almost detached. It has chosen me. I cannot walk away. The commander stepped forward, fists clenched. You are blinded. This is not power, it is poison. Humanity knew this ship was too dangerous. They buried it, locked it away, and you brought it back. The pilot looked at him with a faint smile. Maybe that's why it chose me. Because I was willing to touch what no one else dared. The ship pulsed, almost like approval. The crew trembled. One whispered, if we stay, the humans will kill us. If we run, the ship will consume us. There is no escape. But the young pilot shook his head. There is always a choice. The ship is asking me to make it. The walls shimmered, showing visions. The aliens saw futures unfolding like broken mirrors dot in one vision. The pilot chose war. The ship unleashed its full power, tearing apart the human fleet like paper. Worlds burned, stars collapsed, and the galaxy fell silent under its shadow dot. In another vision, the pilot surrendered. The humans destroyed the ship, sealing its remains once more. The aliens were executed for their crime, and the galaxy forgot them. And then there was a third vision. A path not clear, not safe, but unknown. The ship drifting beyond galaxies, beyond time itself, carrying its secret away from both humans and aliens. The commander's voice cracked. You see? Every choice leads to ruin. That is what this ship brings: destruction, no matter the path. The young pilot rose from the chair, his body trembling with light. No, it is not the ship that brings ruin. It is the ones who fear it. The humans fear it so much, they buried it. But fear is not truth. Fear is a chain. Outside, humanity's fleet moved into position. Admiral Reyes's voice boomed across the comms. This is your last chance. Surrender the vessel, or humanity will erase you. The alien crew froze. Their lives, their mission, their galaxy, everything rested on a single decision. The young pilot closed his eyes. The ship's voice whispered inside him, endless and heavy. Choose, command, or fall. For a long moment, there was silence. And then he made his choice. The ship roared to life. Light burst from its hull, brighter than any star. Humanity's fleet fired at once, unleashing everything they had. But their weapons vanished before touching it, erased from reality itself. The aliens cried out, shielding their eyes. But the ship did not attack. It did not fight back. Instead, it bent space once more. Stars twisted, galaxies stretched, and in a single blinding flash, the impossible vessel disappeared. Human scanners went wild. The fleet searched every corner of the system, but there was nothing. The ship had not jumped to another star. It had gone somewhere no radar could follow. It had left the galaxy entirely. Inside, the alien crew staggered to their feet. Around them, there were no stars, no planets, no familiar constellations. Only a vast sea of shifting light, like the edge of creation itself. The pilot sat back in the chair, his face pale but calm. I did not choose war. I did not choose surrender. I chose freedom. The ship is not a weapon. It is a doorway. The commander stared at him, trembling. A doorway to where? The young pilot smiled faintly, his eyes glowing brighter. To everywhere. The ship pulsed again, its voice deep and endless. The galaxy is too small. Beyond it lies infinity. You are no longer watchers. You are no longer thieves. You are the first. The alien crew fell silent. They realized then that they had not stolen a ship. The ship had stolen them. And as it carried them into the unknown, far beyond the reach of humans, far beyond the laws of physics itself, one truth remained. Humanity would never stop searching. Because somewhere in the darkness, a stolen ship that should not exist was flying free, and whoever commanded it would decide the fate of more than just one galaxy. Asterisk.